All right, I believe we are live. So, hello everyone.
Hello,
Welcome.
everybody.
Welcome to another Ravenhawk 6910 live stream. And I am not alone this time. I've got a buddy with me here. Hello, Shawn.
Hello, Ravenhawk. I'm just so glad that you invited me to this live stream of yours, and you've always been a favorite of me to watch your show. So you've always done a good job in these reviews, and I just thank you for including me on this one.
Oh, it's no problem. It's nice to have another fellow YouTuber and friend on the stream for once. This is the first time that we've done this. So what we're going to be doing here today, guys, is we're going to be going over the Lionel 2022 catalog, which just debuted today. And there's some pretty hot stuff in here for the O-scale guys. And we're going to break those down and go through each individual piece. So I guess we're just going to go ahead and start out with the first thing, which is the brand new Lionel Base 3 and Cab 3 that they've just announced. So let's go ahead and get started. For that, let's go ahead and give some shout outs here. So starting from the top, hello, American Flyer S-Scale Trains, Train Fan 120, NNW 1218. Forgive me if I am pronouncing this wrong. Rutgers Gentney, I hope I can get saying that right.
Jitney.
Toby Yoder, how you doing? All Ohio Railfan, Atlanta Railfan Productions, PNW 3905, KNR Custom Models, hello there. Brian Cox, good to see you, buddy. And Chicago South Shore and South Dokie, and Chris Hibbler Pinball. Forgive me if I'm butchering your names. I'm the absolute worst. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and look into this Cab 3 base and app real quick as soon as I can zoom out here.
I'm pretty sure I got you beat as being the worst at pronouncing names.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. So, the big thing that was announced, and a lot of people leaked it, unfortunately, which, you know, my thing with catalog leaks is that they're cool and all, but, you know, getting stuff out early can really hurt a company, especially when it comes to copyright laws and companies making fake products. But I digress. That's a discussion for another day. However, let's go ahead and talk about the Lionel Base 3, which, first of all, appearance-wise, this thing looks really cool. It looks like the Lionel Hellgate Bridge from the pre-war period, which is always nice to see. So, essentially what this is doing is combining all of Lionel's control systems under one roof, and it is also eliminating the need for a remote control. You can use up to 10 controllers simultaneously, but the big thing that this works with is the new Lionel Cab 3 phone app, which is right here. And this one allows for lots of new features. For one thing, 4-digit locomotive ID, which is debuting on the NNW Class A 1218. But, you know, the phone apps for model trains are cool. However, me personally, I still like having a remote. That's just me. Dakman, what do you think about this?
I'm in the same boat as you. I don't, when I want to play with my trains, I want to put away all my Android devices, my tablets, and all that stuff, and turn off the TV and walk away from things and just sit at my layout with a hand controller and do what I want to do that way. I'm very old fashioned myself, so that's something that actually doesn't do anything for me. But to each their own.
Yeah, I agree. Now, For me, I never had the original legacy system. I always have just had TMCC. So getting something like this wouldn't be a big thing for me. Eventually I'll probably get this, but as far as having the original legacy system, it never really appealed to me personally. I got the TMCC system because it was cheap and I could afford it. So, but that's just my opinion. I still think it's going to be really cool to see all of the integration of all the features and all the different control systems into one thing, especially on the Lion Chief side.
And I'm
Because
sure that would, not to interrupt you, but that I'm sure that will appeal to the newer generations coming in, to the kids and stuff, because it allows them to run their Lion Chief, their Legacy, their train, whatever that they have to run, they can run under that one system.
exactly. And as Toby's pointing out, yes, the base 3 can support up to 10 controllers simultaneously, any combination of the Cab 1L, Cab 2, or the Cab 3 app. So the original TMCC Cab 1 will not work with this, but you can, at least as far as I'm concerned, at least as far as I can tell, anyways. But you can run multiple things off of this, and this does actually have a slot for the memory module, which is nice because even though Lionel discontinued that, yeah, you can see it right back here on the back. This is the interface back here.
Yes.
So you've got a USB plug here. You've got the memory module plug here, power switch, cable. You've got your track plug in here for your ground. And then you've got your LCS plugs back here. So if you have anything that runs off of the LCS system, that's where you will plug those in at. So, but there you go. It's definitely interesting, and it's something to look into.
Yep. Yeah. The Cab 1L is actually a legacy type of remote. It's not just a TMCC, so that's why your original remote won't work with us, because your remote has the antenna on it, if I remember correctly. So that's just right. TMCC only. That doesn't. This 1L has TMCC and legacy controls built into it.
Correct. So, but either way, I'm not going to spend too much attention on this. It's cool. It's something that I will be looking into later on, probably once the layout construction gets more underway. But we'll see. A couple more people coming in on the chat. Hello, Slag Cat at Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. And Randall Ellison, you're here as well. Very cool to see you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the big thing, which is the Vision Line Norfolk and Western Class A. Now, this thing, had it not been for my really crappy luck with Lionel steam engines, I would be very excited about this, because the 1218 I actually like more than just the, I liked it more than the 611, and I still do. I mean, just something about that size. It's more powerful than a Challenger, and it's just a really cool engine. So what do you think, Shawn?
Oh, yeah, you are not kidding. It is a cool locomotive, and for those who love like compound type of steam locomotives, I mean, this is just a powerhouse. And I just like these type of compounds and articulators over like the 611, like you mentioned.
So let's go ahead and look at some of the features on this thing. JLWII 2000. Hey James, he's saying we're buffering a little bit. So if you guys can see us fine, please let us know in the chat. If we're having any lag or anything like that, please let me know. But as far as features, we've got the 4-digit address for the Cab 3 base. We've got legacy control, Bluetooth control, stereophonic legacy rail sounds. So that means it's got one speaker in the boiler and 2 speakers in the tender. It's basically just like the Vision Line Challenger in that sense.
Oh, okay.
The fan-driven smoke unit, whistle steam smoke unit, safety valve steam, kinematic drawbar between the engine and the tender, and presumably on maybe the back of the engine as well. We'll see. Force coupler effect, LED lighting, quote-unquote all-new tooling. Now, I'll explain more about that in a minute. Road number-specific detailing, road name and road number-specific crew talk. It'll be 30.5 inches long, and it will have a minimum curve radius of 0.72. So we've got, on this page, we've got the 1218, the 1238, and the prototype number 1200, which actually has a Y3 tender back here. Because before, at the time the 1200 rolled out, they did not have the larger tenders designed yet. So that's why they put the Y3 tender behind it. And then we also have a 4-pack of Norfolk Southern business cars down here on the bottom. So
is that, do you know if that's the MTH tooling or is that Lionel's cars?
No, these are Lionel's cars down here.
Okay.
So these are the typical 21-inch passenger car tooling.
Passenger cars. Okay.
However, on the subject of MTH tooling, it's very interesting that the Class A is in a Lionel catalog, period. Because the story goes, MTH tooled up the first O-scale Class A to be made in die-cast. Well, Lionel stole the design from Mike Wolf and made their own Class A. And MTH took Lionel to court and won. And so as a result of this, legally, Lionel could not make a Class A after that lawsuit. They also could not make a Reading T1, a scale Reading T1. They did one for the Lionmaster line, but they could not make a scale T1 and a scale Class A because of this lawsuit. So now we have a scale Class A, a Vision Line Class A. So it makes me wonder if this is the MTH Class A tooling just upgraded to Lionel specs and with different features, which there's a very good probability it is, because a lot of the stuff that they're saying is, quote, all new product or all new tooling. It's the MTH tooling. So that's just my hunch. But yes, PGH Train Fanatic, it was this Pennsylvania T1 that they could not make, not the Reading T1. I should have clarified that one. But either way, the fact we've got a Class A in here now is awesome, because the N&W Hooter whistle that they did for the Y6B is awesome, and I assume the Class A's will have that. So, and then a few more variants over here. We've got, let's zoom in here. We've got the World War II version of the 1210, which is another one with the Y3 tender. And then we've got on this page, we've got the 1211 post-1945. We've got the LCCA exclusive number 1222. We have an unpainted pilot version, which I always like those. And we have the fictional What If passenger scheme for the 1201.
You know, that's kind of cool.
Personally, it is actually. It fits the engine very well. So I think that would be.
Yeah, I'm not one for fantasy, but that actually looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far over the edge. So, yeah, I like it. I think these are going to be fun pieces. So, what do you think, Shawn? I know your layout isn't exactly Steam friendly, but if you could order one of these right now, which one would you do?
Yeah, I mean, I have 080 on my layout. I did do an update on my outside main line is all 080 now, so I could easily run that.
I see.
Yeah. So, but if I like it, it's a nice, cool, massive, muscular locomotive, and I do like the like I said, the compound steam locomotives like this.
Right. It's really awesome. But we shall see what happens. Eventually, I might get a Class A, but we'll just have to see. You know, I mean, even so, $2,000 for a steam locomotive is very pricey.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of the hobby, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors in that with the shipping and the materials and the electronics. It's just a lot that a lot of people don't see because I'm in the trucking industry, so I see the end of it with the shipping and the materials and all that stuff.
Right. And, you know, it does make sense, but doesn't make the hit on the wallet any better.
No, no, it doesn't. Hmm.
Yep. All right. So, in addition to the Class A's, Lionel is also offering some Vision Line rolling stock, which is what they've been doing over the last several years.
Hmm.
Now, the first ones are rehashes, and they are. I'll just go ahead and knock those out of the way before we get to the new ones. But we have another run of the stock cars, which they offered, which there are basically the same ones that they offered with the GS class engines, but with different paint schemes. We got Santa Fe, Baltimore, Ohio, and New York Central down here. These are all 3-car sets, by the way. And then over here, we've got Northern Pacific. We've got Swift, which is very interesting. I never thought, when I think of Swift, I think of disastrous trucking incidences, not trains. But I guess they did at some point, maybe. I don't know. And we've
Well,
got Union Pacific as well.
yeah, Swift was originally a meat company years and years and years ago. We're talking about all the way back in the 1800s. I think Swift started as a meat company.
Well, that would explain why they have livestock cars then.
Yeah.
So, but either way, let's go ahead and check out the Vision Line horse cars. Now, these, what do you think of these, Shawn? These are interesting pieces here.
When you said horse car, I'm like, huh? I didn't realize that. Wow, I'm like, you shocked me when you said horse car. That is very interesting. And I'm noticing chat about pricing, and what you're seeing in prices in here is going to be a little bit cheaper in the stores. So I wouldn't take too much notice to the pricing in this catalog.
Exactly. Some stores will be discounting this for pre-orders. So, but either way, but yeah, Shawn, these baggage cars are basically used to transport race horses,
I did not know that.
and they were prototypical. They did really exist. Now, Lionel kind of went cheap on these. They used the Vision Line baggage car toolings, which is the exact same as the ones that were done up for the New York Central Niagara and the GS engines. But we've got Pennsylvania Railroad, Santa Fe, Railway Express Agency, a Green Southern Pacific, and then on the more colorful side of the spectrum, we have Canadian Pacific and Louisville and Nashville. Now, I think, and I'm going to pull a photo up here real quick and just to confirm, but I believe the 6-axle trucks were not on the original Vision baggage cars. So, and I believe that was done to allow for the larger weight of distributing the load of transporting animals. But let me just look and see here. Hello, Gus, the lunatic from Arno. Good to see you there. And yeah, the 6-axle trucks were not on that first run. So the 6-axle trucks are different. But these will have sounds. They'll have loading and unloading sequences, and they will have a full rail sound package in them, which is cool, honestly.
That's pretty neat. That's why I like watching your shows because I always learn something. I had no idea about a horse car.
To be honest, I didn't know about it either until RJ pointed it out to me. So, but it's very interesting nonetheless. So, I think if I got one of these, I'd probably get the Canadian Pacific one because that and the L&N are definitely the most colorful out of the batches. You know, maybe they're not prototypical, but as far as a consist, but as far as putting in a random consist rather, but
yeah,
they definitely are the most colorful.
PW3905 says there's one in Connecticut that does have 6-axle trucks.
Well, that sounds about right. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and move on to the Legacy Steam section. Now, this is another MTH tooling right here. This is the Legacy 210-4s. This is the Santa Fe 210-4s. So starting off with the prototypical ones, we've got the 5011 and the 5022. I like these engines a lot. These are really cool, big engines. And then over here, we've got a fictional 5001 in a black bonnet, kind of like they did with the, what am I thinking? The Vision Line 210-10-2. And then we've got some fictional schemes down here. We got 2 Kansas City Southerns and a Pennsylvania Railroad. Now, according to what Lionel said on their stream, Dakman, are you aware that Pennsylvania Railroad leased Santa Fe 210-4s at one point in history?
I remember going over to the old train forum, and he was pointing out different locomotives that he had that were actually either leased to Pennsylvania or Reading, which I had no idea. Norfolk and Western was one of them. But I'm not sure if I remember him saying anything about Santa Fe.
Well, the Pennsy leased Santa Fe 210-4s for a little while, and supposedly this 6510 fictional one is supposedly what they would be if they had been renumbered. I'm not entirely sure, but that's the story I was told.
So, okay. Cool.
Either way, it's cool to see another MTH tooling being reused here.
Yeah, I think my favorite one out of all this is the originals.
Yeah, I agree. And I think 5011 is still around today, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it is at the Museum of Transportation in St. Louis, the same museum that Frisco 1522 is at.
Okay.
So, next up, we've got the Berkshires, which you and I were talking about these a bit before the stream.
Yes.
These are K-line toolings. So
I'm sorry, I was reading PGH Train Fanatics.
I was about to say, you're chuckling at Nick, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like he says, if you want to quilt, a horse and a pig is going to cost you $800.
Yep. Well, heck, the cow ones that I still have, I have a Chicago and Northwestern set. It's got a bug in it now where every time it won't save the ID, and so you'll move to your engine's ID and go to blow the whistle, and all of a sudden you'll hear a long continuous cow mooing.
Ow.
So that's a bit of an issue. But anyways, these Berkshires here are the old K-line Berkshire toolings, which these were actually, specifically this Santa Fe version here, was the last scale steam engine that K-line made. So it's really cool to see Lionel tooling these up. I think this is the first time they've done them in quite some time. So they've got a few versions here. They've got, as soon as it zooms out here, a couple of different Boston and Albany versions right here. A Chicago and Northwestern, Santa Fe, Southern Pacific, and then this thing, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, the tag. So did not expect them to offer a tag one. In fact, to be honest, I didn't know the tag even had Berkshires. But apparently they do, or they did.
Yeah, so, we got there's a diesel version over at the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, they've got the Tag 80, the GB38 over at TVRM, which was the last engine built for the tag. But yeah, I didn't realize they had Berkshires.
Now, or is everything we're seeing here prototypical? Do you know?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So, because I looked it up, and yeah, everything here is prototypical. Because I had to look up the tag one. So, let's see. The 442 Atlantics, getting into the smaller engines here. Let's see. Boston and Maine, Missouri Pacific, New Haven, New York Central, Southern Railway, and Wabash. Pretty cool. You got any thoughts on them?
It's a good locomotive for somebody who's got a smaller layout and they can't fit the massive Norfolk and Western. So it's a locomotive for somebody who's got something smaller and they want to get into legacy.
T-Crash is considering getting one of the 442s, the Southern Railway one. I think the Southern Railway one is great and will be good as long as Lionel doesn't botch the paint scheme. I mean, Lionel is notorious for making their paint schemes too bright.
Either too bright or way off.
Exactly. So, but what can you do?
Yeah, they can't seem to get their reds or blues together.
I don't know. And then on the next page, we've got even smaller engines. We've got the 060s. Now, these are hit and miss, in my opinion, at least from the catalog renderings, because the engine is the MTH tooling, but the tender is the Lionel tooling.
Oh.
And look at that massive gap there.
Yeah.
Plus, the tender sits higher than the engine.
What do you think the purpose of doing this was? To match?
I mean, I guess to just, give something different. Because, I mean, these did technically exist in this configuration. But, I don't know. Trying to combine the two toolings like this, it's just interesting to me. And I know RJ was talking about getting the Washington Terminal one, which is down there on the bottom right-hand corner. And I know Strasburg fans will be happy to see the 31, a.k.a. the 7312. But, yeah, I mean, I guess this is just going to be one of those engines that we'll just have to see what happens when they come out.
Now, is this like a switcher engine?
Yes, these are yard goats.
Okay.
So hence the smaller side. And also that's why the coal load is box shaped like this, because it allows the crew to see past the tender during reverse moves.
Oh, okay.
So that's why the tenders are designed this way.
I did not know that either.
Yep, absolutely. We've got 39 people in the chat right now watching. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. I really appreciate everyone turning up to this stream. Got a few new ones that have come in as well. T-Crash Productions and Matt's Trains. Hello, guys. Good to see y'all. Hanging out here with Dakman Productions, going over the new catalog. And then some more smaller engines, the 040s. We've seen these before. Nothing really too interesting. I know DJ will probably like the Long Island one.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it is. That's just about all for the steam engines. So now let's go ahead and go to the diesels, which I know you'll have a bit more to say in this section.
Yeah.
So you want to start off with this one, the RS-27?
Well, I'm not an Alco fan per se. I like EMD, but, I'm looking at this. I like the fact that Lionel is actually doing a Conrail patched or stenciled over trains. So this is not the first time they're doing like a Conrail over a Penn Central locomotive. And then you have the actual Penn Central version up top. So I do like that they're doing that. they're doing like basically overstamps or of
Patch
where
jobs.
patch jobs. So, and I like that Sioux line. I mean, I don't know if that's prototypical or not. I'm not
It
familiar with
is.
the Sioux, but that looks pretty good. So, for those who do like Alco, I mean, this is pretty much a cool locomotive, something a little bit different.
And it's also another MTH tooling that's been salvaged.
Yeah.
So that's also a good. Let me have a stroke here.
PGH
But
Train Fanatic said he's going to pass on our RS-27s. I gotta say, I will too.
yeah, me as well. I mean, I like them, but I don't like them that much. So, and let's see some more smaller switch engines. It's a shame that. Okay, these are cool. These are really cool. These are also MTH tooling. This was the MTH Rail King tooling, and they've added smoke units to them, which is great. But they were just one number off from the one that's at the museum in Paris, California. Because I've seen they have a preserved SP unit just like this there, but it's a different road number. If they had done that, I mean, I know I could probably renumber it, but it's like, why? Why? You could have made my you could have made my life so much easier.
Quite honestly, I don't know why they would do an S1 when they just came out with the SW8.
They're probably just trying to crank out more of these smaller switchers because, I mean, they are probably very good sellers because they do fit on those layouts.
Yeah,
On small layouts, I should say.
yeah, that's true.
But let me. Here we are. This is the one that's at the museum in Paris, the Southern Pacific 1006.
Oh,
There you go. And that sucker had just been restored when I was out there back in 2020.
nice.
So, yeah, I mean, it's cool they're doing it, but I just wish they had done the 1006. That's just me. So, but yeah, they're
Yeah,
cool pieces.
yeah. Even though they did a Conrail, this is all a pass for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right, let's see. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way here. There we go. All right, next up, another run of the ES44ACs. And before you ask, Dakman, no, I'm not excited about this. For one reason. All of the CN ones are supposed to be Tier 4 GEVOs. I would have been much more happy if Lionel had done these heritage units and veteran schemes. Whoa, what in the world? On the 027 Tier 4 GEVOs in the Lion Chief line. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these batch of locomotives and the ES44AC. To anyone who's paid attention on eBay, I mean, they're second hand. They sell really well for the prototypical ones, but this some of these in fantasy just again don't do anything for me.
Yeah, I mean, the BNSF anniversary one is probably going to be the most popular one they sell. As for me, I will just wait for the Scale Trains ones to show up in HO. Sorry, guys. So, next page, the SE40-2s are back. So, some very good choices in road names here. Burlington Northern, Bicentennial, and Tiger Stripe scheme. Let me zoom in on here. Louisville in Indiana is really cool. The Norfolk Southern Maersk Sealand unit. I remember seeing this engine actually, not in this paint scheme after it was repainted. But let's see, the Savage Railways Veterans locomotive and the Union Pacific Desert Storm locomotive.
That's a cool one.
Absolutely, it is. And all of these diesels, by the way, are being made in powered and non-powered configuration. So if you want to get a bunch of these and save a little bit, they are making non-powered versions, and there's no shame in having non-powered units in your fleet.
Well,
So
here's my own spin on that. If I'm going to spend the kind of money that they want people to spend on a non-powered unit, I'd rather save up the difference and buy another powered unit. But that's just me.
I understand it, but when you're buying a whole bunch of these, sometimes it helps to be budget conscious because especially on a smaller sized O scale layout, let's say you've bought 3 of these, you bought 2 powered and 1 non-powered, but you're not really going to be able to tell too much of the difference pulling wise with that middle unit. But that's just me.
Right. If you have a smaller layout, yeah, that's true. But for people who have maybe a larger layout and got up inclines and they want to have long, heavy trains, they might notice it more than somebody who's got a 4x8 layout.
Yeah. But either way, these are cool. I'm sure they'll be popular. If I did order one, I'd get the Maersk one.
Yes, that is cool.
Simply because I've seen it in person.
For me, it'd be a toss-up between the Maersk and the Desert. I mean, the Desert Storm is just so cool.
I know. That's one of those engines that was just a damn shame that it was scrapped because it was just so cool. Get a little close-up of it here. But yeah, that was so awesome. I wish they had kept that thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
just something about that.
Heath's here.
Oh,
Heath's here in the chat now.
Yeah, I wonder if he's eating a hot dog.
I don't know. Ask him, not me.
That's an inside joke.
We eat brats over here.
Oh, brats, yeah.
The real stuff.
Yeah, is brat a hot dog or a sandwich?
Yes.
Yes.
Moving on to what is probably one of the more controversial things in this catalog, the SD90 MACs, specifically the CP military ones. Now, Dakman, what do you think of this?
I mean, I can understand why they're trying to, go with those schemes, but is this even done on the right locomotive?
You're halfway right. I mean, these. Okay, now time to bring out the HO reference model. So,
okay,
the prototypes were done on SD70 ACUs, which is what this is. This is the Athearn Genesis one right here. It's got the front section of an SD70 ACE, but then from the midsection back is the SD90 MAC car body. So these are rebuilt SD90 MACs. And arguably, these models, even though they're not accurate, are still good choices. So, but for me, I ordered the MTH ones, which were SD70 ACEs. And for me, they look better from the front than looking at these from the back. Because from the back, yeah, they look accurate, but then you get up to the cab and it's the SD90 MAC cab.
Yeah.
So actually, I think the MTH one with the Ace cab up front looks better than these.
I'm going to have to agree with all Ohio Rail fan. The CP Veterans paint scheme just don't fit the SD90 MACs.
I mean, they still look good and they're close. But I don't know. And I tell you the one I'm really concerned about is the Air Force unit. Because do you see the wave design up here?
Uh-huh.
That's supposed to be a curved shape to resemble the body of a fighter aircraft. It's supposed to be sky camouflage.
Oh.
But instead, they've got this almost wave-looking design for that. So I hope they correct this, because otherwise this is really going to be a botched paint scheme.
Yeah.
So
I think out of them all, My favorite would have to be I think you told me that's a Navy one that's got the red bottom to it.
Yeah, that's the Navy one. And then on the next page, we've got the two Tuscan CP Heritage ones. Then we have some more prototypical ones down here. We've got the Demonstrator SD90 MAC 8204. And then over here, whoops, let me try it this way. Why aren't you working? There we go. We've got the San Luis Rio Grande, aka Iowa Pacific paint scheme. And we've got the ex-Union Pacific Norfolk Southern patch jobs.
I like that
NS
one
bottle.
because, like you said, NS bought them, and I actually got to see NS run those as being patched on Horseshoe Curve. So that's the cool piece.
I agree, and I got to see a few of these as well when they were still running around this way. So those will be really cool to see. And they're again offering. No, actually, they're not doing powered and non-powered versions of these. So my mistake there. Either way, if I did get one of these, I'd probably get one of these before I got any of the Canadian ones. Or I'd get the Demonstrator one, because I've always loved the 90 MAC Demonstrator scheme.
I would probably get the NS patched Union Pacific.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Matter of fact, I might have to put that on my real list.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize that's what
you realize what? Go ahead, Dakman.
This is the part I've been waiting for. I've been really wanting Lionel to do something like this, the Amtrak F40PH, because I'm not a fan of the newer ones. I know, unfriend, but
well, I mean that's okay. I mean, I've been waiting for them to do another run of the line of the F40s as well. But what I'm interested in is coming later on down the page. But for now,
I know which one.
The standard F40s.
Yes, and
so we've got two actual. Go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, the one I'm most interested in, I think, is that what is it? Phase 3, the red, white, and blue stripe one.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the one that I want right there.
Are you going to get it?
Yes.
There you go. Welcome to the Amtrak Club.
Yeah, I've always wanted Amtrak
on
Conahey Rail.
Let's see. Last time Lionel did the F40s was in 2016. Yes, that is correct, Train Fan 120. Now, as far as the paint schemes, the Phase 3 and the Phase 4 right here, these are prototypical. This Phase 5 and the Veterans scheme down here are not prototypical on the standard F40s. So, but we got a solution to that coming. So let's move on to the next page. We got some passenger cars for these. You going to get any of these, Shawn, or are you going to look for some AM fleets?
No, they're 21-inch cars, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would probably go for these right here.
Yeah, these would fit the time frame for the Phase 3 F40. These are definitely good for the mid to late 80s.
Yeah, which is perfect. At least for me.
So then over here, we've got the CSX business train. This is actually the second time Lionel's done the business train for CSX. Only this time they're doing it as the Baltimore and Ohio painted F40s and passenger cars. So that's pretty cool.
Didn't CSX buy an ex Metroliner or they bought an old locomotive for another railroad company to do this for the F40? Didn't CSX really buy an F40 from another railroad?
They bought 4 F40s from Amtrak for the business train. Okay. And then they also bought a locomotive, a Jeep 40 rebuild from Mark.
Oh, okay.
Which they use for geometry train service. But
Okay.
all of the F40s are ex-Amtrak ones.
All right.
So, and then on the next page, this is going to be a popular one right here. The Denver Ski Train.
Cool. Yeah.
That is really cool. So, and I know Johnny over at Optimus is crying right now because he just got the passenger cars for the ski train. And now yes, he did. And now he's got to get the F40 that matches it. I pity him not. So, but now on this page, these are the ones I'm excited for. Because as much as I like the F40s, the F40 rebuilds into cab cars are what I like. You know, call me a heretic, whatever, but this is to me is how the F40s have lived. This to me is how the F40s have lived on past their prime. And I think it's pretty cool that they're still around in that respect. And that's why I like them. However, we've got 4 paint schemes. We've got Phase 4, 9229, a Phase 4 Downeaster, 9214, which I hope to God that blue roof is not on the production models because that's not right. It's supposed to be black. But the Veterans one and then the Phase 5. Now,
I got a quick question for you. Did Amtrak run the cabbage with the F40, or was the cabbage after that era?
There were a few instances where F40s ran with cabbages, but not a whole lot. I know a couple of times it happened on the Heartland Flyer, and then a few times it happened in Michigan service as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Right. But on the subject of the Heartland Flyer, 9229 was the NPCU that was used on the Heartland Flyer for many, many years. In fact, if you look right here, see that little blue box right there on the nose?
Yes.
That is actually the Oklahoma state flag.
Oh.
So this, to me, when I think of the Heartland Flyer, I think of the 9229. And then over here, the Veterans unit. This is the one, Amtrak had 2 of these. They had 9208 and 9221. 9221 was assigned out of Chicago, and it still is around today. And 9208 was assigned to the Surf Line. And unfortunately, it's not around anymore because it hit a forklift at a grade crossing, of all things. However, this was the first NPCU that had the Veterans scheme. And I absolutely freaking love this thing.
Yeah, I was up in the air whether I was going to get a cabbage car to go with the one that I want or not.
That's entirely up to you. For me, I love the cabbages, and I'm probably going to be ordering the 9208 and the 9229. I know I already have the 9218 from the original release, but I don't care. I need more cabbages. So, plus also the 9208 I saw in person in 2012 before it was repainted into the Veterans scheme because it's been assigned to the Surf Line for almost 20 years, I believe. I think it got out there in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. So,
now, are these going to have any kind of sounds, or what's the features on these things?
These will have sound. So, they are non-powered, but they have working strobe lights and emergency lights as appropriate to the road number. They have a unit pair switch for operation with the F40s. They have horns, bells, and head-in power generator sounds, which you can activate with the remote.
Cool.
And so, yeah, even though these are dummy units, they are very nice dummy units. They also have operating electrocouplers on each end.
Oh, wow. So it's like a high-end sort of dummy unit.
Exactly. And they are really cool locomotives. Like my original 9218 that I have from the first run is such a cool model. Like you wouldn't even believe. It's amazing how fulfilling a dummy unit can be, but it really is. So, but that's just what I think. I'm very excited about these, and
so am I.
So, but yeah, 9229 and 9208 will probably be the two that I order.
Now, is this Lionel's original tooling, or is this MTH?
This is Lionel's original tooling because they did these. They did these up in 2016, which is when they did the first run. Let me go back in the chat here really quick.
All right.
Brian was going to ask about the SP switcher. Yes. Let me go back just a minute there, Brian. This is whoa, I think I just broke it.
No, you didn't. You're right.
There we go. But no, that SP switcher, Brian, this is the same one that was at the museum in Paris when you and I were out there. But it's a different road number. It's the 1000 instead of the 1006. 1006 is the one that's at the museum in Paris. So there you go. But let me move us along here. So we're done with, I believe we still have some more locomotives to go through. So we've got the F7 sets. They got a yellow and silver Santa Fe war bonnet set, and a Lehigh Valley set. And then there's also, let's see, Sioux Line, Union Pacific, and Southern Pacific Daylight. And then the big sets are the F9 sets, with the Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western, and the Reading and Northern. Dakman, tell me, do you know what these are, or what they were?
The Reading and Northern were former Norfolk Southern OCS locomotives.
Yes, and the Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western are the other two. So, personally, I really want to get that AC and W scheme, but I don't trust Lionel to get it right paint-wise.
Don't trust that.
I mean, even the pinkish purple down here for the passenger cars in the catalog, this isn't right. So,
how far off is it?
K&R Custom Model says he's running out of body parts to sell for getting stuff. That's when you sell your soul, Rich. So, but as far as the paint scheme on the cars, let me see if I can pull this up. I don't want to do another screen share because I don't want to mess this up.
Right.
So, I mean, as far as the catalog renderings, the locomotives look all right, but it's the passenger cars that I'm concerned with. Yes.
Did Lionel already do the Reading and Northern passenger cars to go with those locomotives?
They did passenger cars to go with the 425 because they did offer Reading and Northern 425, and I believe they did Reading 2102. So they do have passenger cars that they've made previously to go with the Reading and Northern units.
Okay.
So, but this is what the color on the passenger cars is supposed to look like.
Oh yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, it's a little bright.
Right. And speaking of Train Fan 120's comments, or cars.
Oh my god, yeah. Crossed Anchors is going to go crazy over that set. You know they're going to get that whole entire train.
Oh, I know. My only gripe is that it's the stupid 027 ore cars that they've been making since the post-war era, and I hate them.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll mind.
They won't mind, but a nitpicker like me will.
Yeah.
So
yeah, nitpicker. Yeah, I can't talk because I like scale stuff myself.
But whatever. But even so, $1,600 for, let's see, how many pieces are in this set? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ore cars and a caboose plus 2 F units. You're getting a lot of train for your money.
Yeah, you are. Now, are both units powered or just one?
Hold on. Let me see. I believe they are both powered.
Yeah, so I think you're getting a pretty good deal then if they're both powered.
Yeah, that's actually a really good deal for that set if both units are powered. So, yeah, that is pretty cool. And then some more. Excuse me. Been working today. Now, this is another one that folks are excited about. The solid rocket motor train. These were MTH toolings. At least as far as the booster cars go. But unlike the MTH booster toolings, you can actually remove the rocket sections and make it into a 30-foot tall rocket from the space shuttle.
That's cool.
It is. And
Wow.
the lead motor is going to be a UP ES44, and we're going to have the Missouri Pacific box cars that are equipped with these little things on the sides. These are actually, I believe, they are made for testing clearances on the booster cars. At least as far as I know.
Do you know why they use an idler car in between each one of them?
I'm guessing just clearance issues more than anything.
Okay.
I don't have an official reason, and then there's also a crew car called the Hialeah.
Hialeah, huh?
Well, that's after a town in Florida. So
that's a cool train. That is so
this
cool.
It is, and it is. How much is? Oh my gosh, this thing's flipping around again. How much is this set? $1,700, and of course that's the MSRP. But you get one, 2, 3, 4, 5 booster cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 box cars, a passenger car, and a locomotive. So, you know what? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because you figure the locomotive itself is probably by itself would be $580. So
roughly,
roughly. So it wouldn't take long to you're probably getting a good deal because that's probably a 21-inch passenger car, right?
Yes.
So that's like $100 car, isn't it?
Yeah, roughly, yeah, before tax.
Yeah, so again, I think it's not the price isn't really that far off when you look at what you're getting.
Right. So either way, this is probably going to be a real popular set because MTH hasn't done the booster cars in quite some time. So they're definitely highly anticipated.
Yeah.
So
I know there was a member at the New Jersey High Railers that was a big NASA fan because he had all the NASA sets that MTH produced.
Nice.
So there is a following for this.
Absolutely. So, and these cars do still run today, even though the cars were intended to move the sections of the solid rocket motor for the space shuttle, but they do still use them for moving SpaceX equipment and other stuff. So, in fact, I filmed one of the solid rocket trains last year coming through my area. It was a cell phone shot, but you can see that video on my channel. So, but let's see here. Moving on to another premium set. If the page will turn. There we go. Black River and Western excursion set with an SW1 and then a Norfolk Southern 40th anniversary set. Excuse me. I'm not really interested in either of these, honestly.
Yeah, neither one does anything for me either.
But, whatever. The Wood Passenger Car 2-packs. These are MTH toolings. I'm not a fan of these. They're too early for what I like to model. I like Pullman cars, but I don't like old style wood cars like this.
Yeah, the only thing that they fit for my area would be the Strasburg. They make a great model for the Strasburg Railroad.
I agree. So, but let's see. Then we got some freight car stuff, some coal hoppers to go with the Class A's, and then some steel coil cars. These are MTH toolings.
Ooh. I gotta get that Conrail. I didn't see that earlier.
Yeah, the Conrail coil shield.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me two of them.
Yep. Yeah, they got Reading, UP, Ferromex, Conrail, Bethlehem Steel, and BNSF.
I'd pick Conrail's the best.
I can't really argue the point. I mean, I do like seeing. We still see a lot of those Conrail coil shields down here, so they're pretty cool. And then they got the graffitied versions there. Double stack cars. I believe these are MTH toolings. I can't remember, but I'm fairly certain they are. Okay.
Because the MTH ones were always more scaled than the Lionel ones.
Right. And then they got graffitied versions of those as well. Illuminated flag box cars. There's one down here that you might be interested in, Shawn. It's the Conrail Veterans one, which is inspired by the Conrail. I believe it was an SD50 or an SD60.
The 50
had a yellow ribbon on it.
Yeah, the SD50.
Yep,
that is a cool one. I do like that. Yeah, I might have to add that to Conahey Rail. That might have to come home with me.
I've got one of those flag box cars from the first run, and they are cool. They really are. Yeah. Hey, Alex from Railroad Journeys and Mike Sertak from Steam. Good to see you guys. Thanks for dropping in. So, but yeah, you should get that car.
That's definitely going on my hit list too.
Yeah, they're cool pieces. All right, let's see here. Indoor box cars. These aren't for me. Bobber cabooses and bay window cabooses.
Have they done a Strasburg bobber caboose?
I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, I know they've got one here in the catalog, but I don't think they've made models previously.
Oh, there it is. There's a Strasburg one right there.
Yeah, I'm saying it's in this catalog, but I'm not saying I don't know if they've done it before. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, Now this I like over here. They've got a CN and a CP veteran scheme one, but look at the CP one over here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That looks really cool. I'm starting to get some lag here on my end.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's livable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's livable. And let's see. All right. The rotary coupler gondolas, those, we've seen these before. The standard O stuff, the crappy ore cars. I'm sorry. I like the MTH scale ones better.
Yeah.
Those were such good cars.
Yeah, the standard O is still like scale-ish. It's just lacking of detail.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it could be better. But that's just me. They're designed to be economical.
Yes.
So they have their appeal, and I'm not going to fault them for that. Now, that wraps up all the scale stuff, but there's one more thing I want to point out here in the Lion Chief stuff, if I can find it here. Couple things, actually. First of all, the Doodle Bugs. This was an MTH Rail King tooling. And Lionel has vastly improved this because the original ones did not have smoke units.
Oh.
They did not have smoke units. They've got are these Lion Chief Plus? Yes, they're Lion Chief 2.0 Plus. And they've got smoke, LEDs, and look at the MSRP. $400. These are going to be really good pieces for somebody on a budget. And Doodle Bugs are just kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I am tempted by that Santa Fe one there. The M160 is still around today, although it looks a little different than this. So, and then on the other side of the page, we've got the rest of the Amtrak 50th anniversary heritage units, which again are the old MTH Rail King tooling, which is funny enough right here. So definitely glad Lionel got that tooling. But one other thing they did, and Dakman, you might want to keep an eye out for this. This set that they are doing, they have 2 Amfleets and a ex-Metroliner cab car. These are redos of the original Lionel Amfleet toolings from the first run they did with the HHP-8. So these are scale cars. These are not 027 ones. So they've got Phase 3, the Phase 5 Acela scheme, the Phase 4B scheme, and then over here, those are the 2-car sets. And then over here, we have cab car sets.
I got a question for you. What do they mean by cab car? What is a cab car?
A cab car, it's just like the F40s, the NPCUs. They have locomotive controls at the front end here. Let me zoom in as far as I can here. Can you see the front there with the windows?
Yes.
There's actually a cab inside this section here, and there's a horn on top and everything else, so you can remotely control your locomotive from the back end of the train without having to turn your train around.
Oh, okay.
This is why they designed the F40 NPCU cabbages, to use them as cab cars. That's why they gutted all of the prime movers and traction motors out of it and just turned that into a baggage car section, because they didn't need them because they were just using the cab controls.
Oh,
but these cab cars were actually made from ex-Pennsylvania Railroad Metroliners. And a lot of them are still in Amtrak service today as cab cars. So it's kind of cool.
They actually had these cab cars with the F40PHs then.
Yes. In fact, the Phase 3 ones that are up here on the top here, these actually worked out on the Surf line for a long time. Back in the day, though, those were referred to as the San Diegans. So, but these did serve with the F40s. You can find videos of them.
Yeah, so that's why I like hanging out with you, because I learned so much from you. You got a lot of train knowledge.
Surtak says he still wishes that they would make Metro F40s instead of more Amtrak ones. I can understand that. You know, it would be nice if they did some Metro stuff for you folks over there in Chicagoland. But alas. But that's as far as I think we're going to take this catalog, because a lot of the stuff after this is just the sets. And, there is one set I do need to bring up, though. Let me find it here real quick, because there was another MTH tooling that has actually made it into a starter set. And it's one that is very, very close to my heart, actually. Let me see. Trying to find it here. Bear with me just a moment.
I'm surprised Lionel hasn't done the Boston purple F40PH. What is it, the MTA or?
MBTA, yeah. It'd be nice. But check this out. Lionel actually got the MTH Rail King Pennsylvania S2 turbine. And they've put it into a starter set.
Oh, wow.
So, that is awesome. And the S2 was the first O-gauge steam engine I bought. So, that's kind of what started me on the O-scale fling. So, and Toby points out as well that the MTH Rail King -8 is also in starter sets now. And they also have individual sale ones too. Right here. If it will load. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, the quote-unquote baby -8s that they did for the Rail King line. Lionel got these toolings too.
I think it's cool that they're doing semi-scale for those who can't have a big layout, but they can still enjoy stuff like this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's always room for the semi-scale stuff. And what the toolings that they've gotten have really kind of expanded that quite a bit, especially the -8 and the turbine. So, because when I think of Lionel, I think of that turbine. I mean, I wish it was still the original post-war one, but beggars can't be choosers.
Right. Yeah.
So, but
the post-war one was definitely cool.
Oh yeah, although it was a lot smaller than this Rail King one. So, but that just about does it. So, Dakman, what are your thoughts on this catalog?
I was so excited to see it, just because I've been wanting Amtrak passenger service on Conahey Rail for the longest time. It's just, and I'm a big, huge fan of the F40PH, so that actually fits the bill. So that set, I'm definitely going to get, along with the Conrail Cool car and the flag car as well. So yeah, there'll be a couple things ending up over here.
I hear you. For me, I'll probably end up getting the two Amtrak F40 NPCUs, the 9229 and the 9208 Veterans Unit. And I may get one of the horse cars if I can budget it in. We'll see. But guys, let us know down in the chat what you all want out of this catalog. I'm really curious to see.
And when you get that horse car, you definitely got a demo though. I would love to hear that.
Oh, if any and all this stuff that I get, I'll do a review video on. So
Cool.
I actually need to get back to doing some more review videos. I haven't done an O scale review video since I reviewed the 2 MTH bicentennial units, I believe. That and the 2 CP ones from MTH.
Now,
So,
one more question before we go about the F40 Amtrak. I know I'm still stuck on that, but weren't there certain ones that had like a wire mesh over the windshields to keep rocks being thrown at them?
the early versions did, yes, in the Phase 2 paint scheme.
Oh, okay.
So, but not the later ones. They did away with those after a certain point. I believe the P30CHs may have had them as well, but I believe they were only attached with magnets. So, Sertak says he'll probably pre-order the Vision Line 1218. I hope you do. I hope one of us does, anyways. Let's see. Toby wants the Lion Chief BNSF-8. That's a good choice. And Dakota's Trains wants a graffiti set. So those are all good choices.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, we are looking at right at an hour and 16 minutes for this stream. So this has definitely been the longest live stream that I've done on my channel. So, guys, I'll probably be doing a podcast tomorrow going over my highlights from the catalog. So be on the lookout for that. Shawn, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I do appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Like I said, I was excited over this catalog. Even more excited of being on your live show, and your channel has been always one of my favorites for sure.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I do appreciate I appreciate you being a good friend and supporting what I do and having fun with me and the train stuff. So,
oh yeah,
thank you guys so much for watching the stream tonight. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, I guess we'll just end it here at this point. So, be on the lookout for that podcast episode later on down the road. And thanks again, Shawn, for coming on. And I will see you guys in the next video and down the road. This is Ravenhawk 6910 with Dakman Productions signing off.